Good morning. Good morning. Praise God. Good to see everyone. Glory to God. Woo. Praise the Lord. Hey, Sister Kenyatta. Blessings to you. Blessings to you. Glory to God. We'll get started in just about 30 seconds. And you guys give me just a moment and I'll be right with you. Blessings. Good morning, Duncan. Praise God. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Praise the Lord. All righty. It is good to see everyone. It is Monday, December 27th, 2021. Glory to God. As we get ready to close out this calendar year, and for some of us, this year has been a feat. It has tested us and tried us at our best and even at our worst, but through it all. It's a song Andre Crouch used to sing, through it all. I learned to trust in Jesus. I learned to trust in his word. And so no matter what the situation, no matter where you are this morning, thank him. Thank him for taking you through it all. It didn't kill you. May have hurt it, but it didn't kill you. Amen. It's all for your growth, for the making of you. Good morning to Wanda, Rachel. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Hey guys, I want to get started really quick this morning. I want to lay some foundation before I tell y'all about this. Yesterday, let's see what happened yesterday. I'm coming up on my 31st of this month. Will be 2 full years I've been living here. So there's some boxes I still needed to unpack. I hadn't gotten to yet. So as I was going through it yesterday in the room, and I was going through it, and I was going through some notes, and it kind of got a little overwhelmed. I was like, oh, I didn't know I had these many notes. Oh my God. So anyway, long story short, I was going through some notes and listening just to worship music, and Lord began to minister to me, and he said, tell them. So I pulled up a teaching that I did a while ago, and haven't really touched on it, but it's something that's dear to my heart. And I know y'all hear me say some things repetitively over and over again because I want you to get it. But I don't think most of y'all have never heard me really tell this story. And I just want to share this with you as an encouragement. But before we do that, let's open up with prayer. I want to read the scriptures to you. I'm going to be coming to you all from 2 Samuel, the 9th chapter, verses 1 through 13. I'm going to read the whole thing, so I hope the word of God don't bore you, because I need to read it in your hearing so you can understand where I'm coming from. Amen. All righty. Praise the Lord. So, Father, in the name of Yeshua, we thank you, we glorify you, we give your name praise and honor. This is your day. And we will rejoice and be glad in it. We rest in you today. Father, if there be any sin in our lives, we repent now in the name of Yeshua, that our praise and our prayer and our worship may be a sweet smelling savor unto you, not to us, but unto you. Teach us, oh God, to keep our foot still, even in the midst of the storm. Teach us, Father, how to, Rapha, be still and know that you are God. I thank you for teaching me that. And I thank you, Lord God, for keeping the hearts of your people and pulling on the strings. So, Father, I ask, Lord God, as we close out this year, this calendar year, Father, I ask, Lord God, that you continue to bless as we begin to reflect back over the things that you brought us out of. We may came out with a limp, but God, we give you praise because you are our healer. You are our deliverer. We may not understand it all, but today we say, we look to the hills from whence cometh our help. Our help comes from you, the maker of heaven and earth. We lean on you today. In the name of Yeshua, forgive us for leaning on our strength and our understanding. Forgive us, Lord God, for doing things our way in your name, saying that you told us and you didn't. Forgive us, Lord. Try us again. God, break that spirit of familiarity in the name of Yeshua. Heal our soul. Mend the brokenhearted on this line. Break the bondages off of the minds of those that are still in prison chains in the name of Yeshua. Only you can do that. Not man, not a psychiatrist, not even family. You are the mender of the broken heart, and you are the one that can heal the mind. You said in your word that you would keep us in perfect peace if we keep our mind stayed on thee. I choose to keep my mind stayed on you. In the name of Yeshua, this inheritance will not be stolen. Teach us how to guard our gates. Teach us how to guard the treasure that you have given us. So today we ask for wisdom. We ask for understanding. We ask for your power, your might, your counsel, and above it all, Father, we ask, oh God, teach us how to love like you in the name of Yeshua. We ever give you glory, give you honor. In Yeshua's name we pray. Amen, 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 amen. All right, guys, I want to share something with you all this morning. Woo! Good morning, Dr. Zola. Morning, morning. Hey, let me read this to you. I'll read this, and I don't really like rushing through the Word of God, but I know we are set for time. But I want to read this to you. This is going to be 2 Samuel, the 9th chapter. 2 Samuel 9, 1 through 13. As soon as I can get my computer to cooperate with me, we're gonna move right on along. Glory to God. There we go. Thank you, Jesus. Here we go. It says, now David said, is there anyone left of the house of Saul? I need y'all to hear this morning, because this is where some of you all are. Is there anyone left in the house of Saul that I may show him kindness for Jonathan's sake? Now, there was a servant in the house of Saul whose name was Ziba, or Ziba, who they called him, and he said, at your service. And the king said, is there still someone in the house of Saul to whom I may show kindness of my God? And Ziba said to the king, there is still a son of Jonathan who was lame in his feet. And the king said to him, where is he? And Ziba said to the king, indeed, he is in the house of Machir, the son of Ammiel, in Lodebar. And David sent and brought him out of the house of Machir, the son of Ammiel, from Lodebar. Now, when Mephibosheth, the son of Jonathan, the son of Saul, had come to David, he fell on his face and prostrated himself. My. And David said, Mephibosheth? And he answered, here is your servant. So David said to him, do not fear, for I will surely show you kindness for Jonathan, your father's sake, and will restore to you all the land of Saul, your grandfather, that you shall eat bread at my table continually. Then he bowed himself and said, what is your servant that you should look upon such a dead dog as I? Then he bowed himself and said, No, then the king called to Ziba, Saul's servant, and said, I have given you your master's son, all that belongs to Saul, and all his house to his house. Therefore, you and your servant, your sons and your servants, shall work the land for him. And you shall bring in the harvest of your master's son, that your master's son may have food to eat. But Mephibosheth, your master's son, shall eat at my table always. Now Ziba had 15 sons and 20 servants. And when Ziba said to the king, according to all that my lord the king has commanded his servant, so will your servant do. As for Mephibosheth, said the king, he shall eat at my table like one of the king's sons. Mephibosheth had a young son whose name was Micah, and all who dwelled in the house of Ziba were servants of Mephibosheth. So Mephibosheth dwelled in Jerusalem, and he ate continually at the king's table, and he was lame at both feet. Now, we're going to stop there. That's a lot to unpack, what I just read. But guys, I'll tell you, when I read the story, this is a story of redemption. Blessings, man of God from India. Makutar. God bless you, Pastor Makutar. God bless you, sir. Blessings to you. You know, when I read this story, it blesses me because Mephibosheth came from a lineage of of royalty. Because remember, his grandfather Saul was the first king of Israel. But we know the story of Saul. Saul did not do everything that he was supposed to do. Saul lost his kingdom because one of the commandments that God specifically gave the children of Israel is that when you have rested from all of your enemies, remember Amalek that smote you in the wilderness and destroyed them utterly. Kill them out, wipe them out. Well, he had an opportunity to rise up. That's further in the book of Samuel, but he had an opportunity to actually wipe out everyone from Amalek, but he didn't do that because the Lord said, from the baby to the women to the children, even the animals, everything had to be wiped out. And I know that's kind of hard, but if you don't understand the reason why the Father said what he said concerning Amalek, it's going to always look blotchy. This is why you have a lot of people don't like reading the Old Testament, because they're ignorant to the fact that the reason why the Lord mandate was so hard upon the children of Amalek was because they were mixed with Nephilim, with the fallen ones. These people were demonic, and they were hybrids and stuff. So long story in short, we're not going to dwell on that. But what I want to share with you, Saul did not do everything that the Lord told him to do. So because of that, the kingdom was stripped from him. And the Lord had anointed David as king. Now, the Lord used David. We know the story. The Lord used David. David went to deliver their bread and cheese to his brothers, and he heard Goliath. And so we know the story. Saul told him, you're going to fight him, put on my armor. He couldn't use it. But long story in short, David wound up being a part of Saul's life from going forward from that moment, and even wind up marrying one of Saul's daughters. Okay. And the Lord actually shut up her womb because she kind of had like an attitude like a daddy. You know, remember when David danced before the ark and she despised it? He shut her womb down. So anyway, here he is raised up in this house. But even in the midst of being raised up in this house, you being anointed to be the next king, and the Lord using David to soothe the demonic spirit that would sometimes come up on Saul, David remained true. But David also had a friend in the house of Saul, which was Jonathan, Saul's son. Jonathan and David were like this. They were best friends. They were like brothers. And long story short, so I'm building up the story. So here we have now, Jonathan is now dead, and so is Saul. David is now reigning king. So now here we are at Mephibosheth. Now, when you read the story of Mephibosheth, in actuality, you can actually start at 2 Samuel. And I believe I said, did I say 1 Samuel? You can start at, I want you guys to, yes, 2 Samuel. If I said 1 Samuel, please forgive me. 2 Samuel 4:4. And then what I just got finished reading, 2 Samuel 9, 1 through 13. Now, the first part, 2 Samuel 4:4, talks about Mephibosheth, and it talks about how he became lame. He was not born lame. Mephibosheth was 5 years old when Saul lost the kingdom, when his father and his grandfather died. Now, the nursemaid, in panic, picked him up, and she fell with him. And when she fell with him, that's how he became lame at his feet. And the nursemaid, and he wound up growing up in a place called Lodibar. Now, why am I talking about this particular story? This particular story rings true to a lot of us. When I look at his condition, Mephibosheth was left in the charge of a nursemaid while the father and the son were, grandfather and the father were out fighting. The nursemaid, or the person that watched over him, took it upon herself to grab him, and though she had every good intention, grab him, but she dropped it. And in her dropping him, he became lame. Some of the injuries that we receive are not always self-inflicted. Some of the injuries we receive can come from people with good intentions. This is why it's important when you're dealing with someone's life and you're dealing with another person's soul and even your own. Be led by the Spirit and not by your emotions. See, in the midst of a panic, this woman grabbed this boy up. Wasn't nothing wrong with him. He was healthy. From birth on up to the age of 5 years old, he was healthy. She took it upon herself. I see danger. Let me grab him. And she running. And in her panic, she didn't get injured. He did. Because her weight, her panic, her fear fell upon him. And because that happened, he the one came out damaged. Now, it's divided among the scholars because some people say that the nurse did this and left him at Lodibar. In other words, she dropped him, no longer was his caretaker. Because at this particular point, there was no need. You can't take the kingdom, your feet lame, but I'm the one that injured you. Ooh, my. David is now king. Let me leave you here, Lodibar. Hey, Tammy, blessings. So he's there. So I begin to look up Lodibar. It's a place. It's a desert place. And it's actually a place that has no pasture. In other words, you could plant seed in that area. It ain't growing. It's in a dry place. It's in a place where nothing's happening. Only thing he could do is sit there and struggle and deal with his injuries. Some of us have been injured in certain areas in our life, and we're still at that place. That person that should have been that charge over you, that pastor, that prophet, that mentor that did not speak to you from the place of the throne room of God, but spoke to you from the brokenness of their soul and the evil intent of their heart, caused serious injury to you. Baby, let me tell you, it's not time for you to come on up out of it. Because the king is waiting to sit you at his table. And then this the thing, check this out. That's why I had to read the whole story, because there's so much to unpack. King David remembered the love of his father. My. Even though his granddaddy tried to kill him. And Jonathan knew his daddy was wrong. But I look at that loyalty that Jonathan had with David and with his father. That's why Jonathan died, because Jonathan went with his dad. That's a whole nother teaching. That's loyalty unto death. A lot of people was like, well, he was weighed in between the balance, or he was confused. He wasn't confused. His father was king, but he knew his father was wrong for what he was doing. But it's something about being loyal to a person. You can be loyal to a person, no, they're wrong. I'm going to leave that right there. But anyway, let's keep on going, because I want to talk about Mephibosheth. Mephibosheth got dropped. Mephibosheth was supposedly left in the hands and the care of someone that could take care of him. And in the midst of the greatest trial, the nursemaid failed. Why? Because sometimes you'll find out that your leaders or the people that you've entrusted, in the midst of this greatest storm you're going through, you'll find out, baby, they ain't the one to run to. They don't have the strength you think they do. I'm not putting nobody down. I'm telling you all this for a reason, because I know what it is to be dropped. I know what it is to, when people come into your life and try to mold you the way they see you or the way they think you should be. When they try to make you carry their armor or wear their attire in the realm of the spirit, want you to preach like them, pray like them, want you to even speak in tongues like them. In other words, they want to cut out everything about you and mold you according to their will. And when it doesn't work, and they see that it's not, everything that they've done is not working, what do? They drop you. We have a lot of people that are out here that are saying that they're spiritual mothers, spiritual fathers, but they don't weather with nobody through no storm. No, they don't. As long as you're giving, they'll weather the storm. If you ain't got nothing, they ain't got nothing for you. Those are hireling. Can I help you out with the difference today? I just won't talk to you. We have a lot of people in the position of Mephibosheth because we put ourselves in the charge of people who we thought were capable of walking us through what we're going through. Well, I ain't gonna rush this one today. There's some people, some of the situations that we experience these things because the Father will bring people into your life. But because of the spirit of familiarity and because we are comfortable being around people, what have you, we have a tendency to lean a little bit too much. I remember going through some storms after being dropped several times. I've had people to tell me, the Lord said, you're my spiritual daughter. And honey, the first storm I hit, I ain't heard nothing. Nobody called. I called them, child, going to voicemail. And then if I did get them, honey, it was dry. They ain't had nothing to say. And I'm like, wow, your well is dry. You can't help me. Oh my God. And it would hurt. But as I begin to mature, because this is the place I need to help you all at. As I begin to mature, the Holy Ghost had me come off the phone, seek my face. This is why I love David. David wrote a scripture. He said, when my mother and father forsake me, then the Lord shall take me up. There have been time and time again, even now, I can scroll through my phone, well over 300 contacts in my phone. The last time I counted. And when I go through some of my greatest storms, he won't let me call nobody. Because I asked the Lord, I said, Lord, teach me how to trust you. See, we always ask, Lord, I want to love, Lord. But if you don't know how to trust, that's a hard thing. And some of us say we love the Lord, but you don't trust him. You don't trust him with your issues. And the reason why you don't trust him with your issues, because you're in depression right now. And he's telling you, bring your burdens and your care to I care for you. And we're saying, I'm giving it to the Lord, but you're still looking for the answer through human flesh. Come on, come on. I don't know who I'm talking to today. Maybe I'm talking to myself today. Caroline encouraging her today. Sometimes we can kind of lean on flesh, the arm of flesh, instead of leaning on the arm of the Lord. He created you. Didn't he create you? Some of us are in positions of Mephibosheth when the Lord told us, hey, share that with me, and you spoke too soon. Or you got into allegiance with someone too soon. Then you realize this ain't it. This ain't it. This is not the will of the Lord. Just because you scroll through one day on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, whatever you watching me on today, and they gave a good message like, I'm going to follow this person. Then after a while, a little bit, it's like, wait a minute, something ain't right. Let me tell you something. Honey, if the Lord can use a donkey to speak to his servant, to make them turn, or to keep them from getting killed, he'll use whomever he need to use to get to you. But that don't mean that you follow that person. Some of y'all listening today, that don't mean you follow me. You better get to the company that you need to be up under. I'm going to tell you the truth because I ain't about numbers. Not about numbers. I rarely check stats. I don't do all that no more. Get the message out. Because at the end of the day, it's about a remnant whom the Lord is going to use. It's not about popularity. Y'all got to hear me. Some of y'all done scrolled through messages and you've heard people give an on-time word. And then you feel like this is who I need to connect with. This is the person I need to pour. Let me tell you something. Your temple is precious. You are precious to the Lord. Y'all know that? Y'all know y'all precious to the Lord. You're precious to him. You're so precious to him. And we'll just give our treasures over to somebody that just know just a little bit more word than you. But did you check their fruit? Did you inspect? Did you look? This is your soul. Some of you will have unnecessary injuries because you opened up to the wrong one. You trusted the wrong one. Now come on up out of there. Come on up out of there. Come on out. Because the king has already prepared a table for you. David remembered. Y'all got to hear me today. David remembered what Jonathan did. He remembered him. He remembered. And he wanted to bless not just Jonathan, but the house of Saul. Now, I'm going to tell you something. That's somebody that's mature in God. This man tried to kill him. But David recognized the anointing on Saul's life. He recognized the fact that God, even in the midst of his rebelliousness, remember when Saul died and that Amalekite went and cut his head off and went to David and said, David, O king, here is the head of your enemy. And David was like, you would touch God's anointed? Ooh, that's deep, y'all. David shows you how to love your enemy. And David said, take him out. You gonna touch the anointed of God? Even in death, he still honored him. That's a mature man of God. There are some mature men and women of God. David had wisdom and understanding and understood. Yes, Saul had this, but he understood that it wasn't flesh he was fighting. It was a spirit. He loved him to the end and even after death. God is trying to get you, Mephibosheth, to those type of people. They know your story. but you're still running and you're still in the place of Lodibar because you consider yourself as not worthy. Look at what Mephibosheth said to David in 2 Samuel 9 through 13, 9th chapter 1 through 13. David was like, Mephibosheth? And he said, well, why would you? He said, I'm a dog. I'm a dead dog. In other words, I ain't no good. You want me at your table? All that time in Lodibar, and there was a table prepared for him. It is time for you to stop looking at your situation. Come on about the past. Yeah, it hurt. Come on out of there. Come on out of there. Some situations you're going through remind you of what you went through. That's a demonic cycle. God wants to break that today. He wants you to lift your head up, O ye gates, and be ye lifted, everlasting doors. Let the King of glory come in. Who is this King of glory? Lord God, strong and mighty. Lord God, mighty in battle. He fighting for you. He know you've been dropped. He know that the person that was left charged over you didn't do their part. Baby, let me tell you something. Release them too. Let them go. Let them go. You still running around here, this is what happened to me. Stop that. Time to grow. Time to grow. Come on. You got this. You got this one. Got this one. Now, I ain't gonna stay there too long. Baby, Sister Tammy, you already know. You know what? And when people that the Lord has called, it is something. You ever notice they'll come in there, try to run your life, control you, try to tell you what to do, and when you don't do it, they just blah, blah, just drop you with injury. She ain't just fall when she fell on him, broke the boy's feet. And then let me tell you something. She could have mended that. I was reading a backstory, and there was this, I read it years ago, and there was this, he was a rabbi, but he was a doctor. He was a rabbi, and he was like, now his feet could have been mended had she dropped him and realized that she dropped him. See, this is where leaders fall and fail. Fail the members, fail those that can't, quote unquote, they think take care of themselves. Drop them. But what he said, she could have mended his feet, could have put some boards up under his feet, could have did whatever, but she dropped him and left him to his own demise. Something that he didn't do, but was done to him. And instead of her staying there and walking him through and coming to a place of, oh, baby, that wasn't my intention to hurt you or to drop you. Let me stay with you. Let me help you mend. Let me get you back to a place of health. No, she was dropped. You know how when your money dry up and that one that was mentoring you don't talk to you no more? Oh, y'all know. Oh, okay. You know that one leader, when you ain't on the get along gang and you decide to do what the Lord said do, and then all of a sudden you become public enemy number one. You become a rogue in the spirit. You become that witch or that warlock being dropped. Yeah. There's a lot of Mephibosheths on this line today. And then there's a lot of nursemaids on here too. Some of y'all gonna have to go back and repent to those you've dropped. See, when you drop a person, that's a sign of immaturity on the behalf of that leader. This is why I'm speaking to you, Mephibosheth. Forgive, because the table's already prepared. You were dropped, yeah. But God is a healer. He's a healer. Not one time do you hear Mephibosheth mentioning what he experienced. It tells a story one time. He goes and he sits at the king's table, but there's more. Check this out. Oh, Lord have mercy. I told you this story is a whole lot to unpack. So Saul had a servant called Ziba. And he was the caretaker of all of Saul's possessions, everything that Saul had. So when David, I read the story when David told Sabah, he said, who's left of the house? And Sabah said, oh yeah, there is one. Yeah. His name, Mephibosheth. David said, okay, go get him. And so this is what David did. David told Mephibosheth, told Ziba, he told Ziba, he said, this is what you're going to do. You're going to bring him back. And I want you to restore to him everything that belonged to Saul and his father. Give it to him. I want you to harvest the land for him and bring in his harvest. Y'all got to hear this. Listen, Mephibosheth. See, Mephibosheth, you think where you are right now in Lodibar, that's it. No. Your servants is already in place. Come on, talk back to me. The king is already making preparation for you. Your name is being spoken by people you don't even know. Don't sit up there and cry over being dropped. He's made a way of escape. Yes. Yes, Lord. See, the enemy's job is to injure you and then injure you here and keep you rehearsing and repeating the situation over, keeping it fresh in your mind. Some of you all there are certain things that trigger you, that send you all the way back to the very thing that happened to you that caused the injury. And the enemy keeps it fresh in your mind. But today, let it go. Ziba and his sons and his servants have already been given the instructions to gather your inheritance. And then there's the thing. Check this out. I just love this story. I love this story. Oh my God. I love the word, period. Gosh. So anywho, he told Ziba, he said, get all of this, get this for him. But this is what he said to Ziba. He said, even though you're doing all of this, know this. You're bringing in Mephibosheth's inheritance. You're restoring everything that belongs to him. But he will sit at this table for the rest of his days. Woo! Now I know they had to make Ziba feel some type of way. So let me help you. When you get the deliverance, when you come on up out of Lodibar, when you come up out of the place of pasture, of no pasture, when you get delivered from the fact that you have been dropped, let me help you? You're still in a warfare, because the one that the king uses to restore to you, heart ain't right either. Woo, wait. Oh my God. Y'all, I'm about to snatch this wig off for real. Oh my God. Oh. I was sitting there reading it today. I was like, what? Ziba, servant to the grandfather and the father. And now he got to serve this one that's lame, that's beneath him. My sons got to work for him. So guess what happened? He held that in his heart. He told King David, he said, whatever in thy heart, O king. You better watch, folks. This is why you need discernment in this season, saints. I ain't say be paranoid, but you need discernment. You need discernment. Yes, Lord Jesus. Check this out. I know he felt some type of way. He's like, now I done served 2 kings. You mean tell me I'm going to still keep serving? Because it ain't yours. See, to whom God gives, to who it belongs to. There's a scripture in Ezekiel where he talks about the scepter of David. And he says, and I will overturn, and overturn it and give it to whose right it is. Yeah, there are people right now, stewards over your inheritance right now. I want you to rejoice. You ain't even got to fight, because the king got you sitting at the table. Check this out. So, Mephibosheth comes, sits at the table. David fulfills everything. Mephibosheth is grateful. Then one of David's sons rises up, Absalom. Absalom rises up, and David fled the kingdom. He didn't want to kill his boy, but Absalom had that double forked tongue. That's a whole nother preach right there. Spoke well of his father, but at the same breath, he's old now. It's time for me to run it. Pretty much, long story short, because he hated his father, because he despised his father, because his father did not come to the aid of the sister that got raped by the half-brother. That's a whole nother story. We're going to talk about that. So anyway, Absalom hears the insurrection. David leaves. Okay. David leaves. But Mephibosheth stayed in Jerusalem. It broke Mephibosheth's heart so bad, he ain't changed clothes. His beard grew out. He did not take care of himself because he was in mourning that the kingdom had been snatched from King David. Guess what Ziba did? Now y'all remember the charge that the Lord, that King David gave Ziba in the 9th chapter of 2 Samuel. He told him, listen, you, your boys, and your servants take care of his stuff. So here we go. Ziba runs to David and say, well, you know, Mephibosheth, I know you're going through what you're going through with your son, but you know, Mephibosheth, you know, he wants the kingdom because he's saying the kingdom is rightfully due to him because, you know, his daddy and his father, you know, daddy was next in line, you know, and he's trying to take it from you. And David was like, what? How to prepare to So he said, you know what, Ziba, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to give you his land. Says he going to be ungrateful? But he lied. This is why I'm telling you, when he deliver you, rejoice. But don't rejoice and let your guard down. Watch and pray. Just because the Lord will use someone to take you or put you in that wealthy place, and I ain't talking about finances at this point. I'm talking about in a wealthy place, a place of deliverance. He'll use a person to bring you out of deliverance. But sometimes those people are seasonal because you know their heart. I never forget the man of God prophesied to me when I left from Chicago going to another city. When I got to Columbus, he said, woman of God, the Lord is giving you 6 months to be with these people. And he said, and after the 6 months, the grace is going to lift. You need to move. It happened exactly like he said it. But some of us linger because we feel like we owe that. You don't owe them nothing. Now you're in an unnecessary bond. We don't do the tit for tat. I bless you today and now you got to bless me. No, it don't work that way. He uses whom he uses to bless you. I know that sounds kind of cold because look at what's zipping out. Look at what is in the word. Look at what he did. Look what he did, y'all. This man with hate in his heart, despising this boy that been lamed, injured by someone that should have been discharged. He been dropped. Now he's been favored by the king. And this person is still in the same position they was with the first king. And they feeling some type of way. So in the moment of crisis, in the moment of Mephibosheth showing his gratefulness, here comes the supplanter. Here comes the sleeper spy, wakes up and takes the position to snatch something that did not belong to him. Discernment is needed. Y'all hear me? He lied. When the Lord allowed David to go back to the kingdom, the first person that met him was Mephibosheth. Unkept, unclean. And David's like, wait a minute, hold on. What you doing? He realized that Ziba had lied, but his decree had already went out. And he said this. He told Mephibosheth, he said, you know what? I already split. He said, I already gave it to him. He said, but this won't on. He said, I'm going to give half to you and half to Ziba. You know what Mephibosheth said? He said, I don't want that. I want to remain at your table and I want to be counted as one of your sons. See, let me tell you, the same heart. Mephibosheth had the same heart his father had. Mephibosheth had the same heart of the king, that table that he now sits at. Even when Zabah did what he did, he was like, he can have all of that. Because at the end of the day, all I want is you. I just want to sit at your table. That's all I want. Let me tell you, the enemy will use people to keep you in a place and keep you in a crux, a place of confusion, anger. And you're missing the best meal and intimacy of your life. He's inviting you to come to his table. Sit at my table. I know you've been dropped. Come on. I've sent someone for you. My ministering angels have come. I'm coming. Come, sit at my table. Sitting at the table, they're going to be still those that are going to despise and feel like you don't belong there. And what has been given to you, that they see that has been given to you, baby, that was already planned before the foundation of the world. Ain't nothing they can do about it. But even sitting at the king's table, y'all be sitting there quoting that scripture talking about, and he shall make a table in the presence of mine. And let me tell you something. Make sure your heart right when you're saying that. Make a table in the presence of your enemies. Mephibosheth was being served by his enemy. But even in the midst of the lie, the Lord still preserved him. I hope this is making sense to y'all this morning. It's time to come on out of the place that you're in. Acknowledge it, yeah. And some of us have over-acknowledged it to the point where the Father's like, come on, time to come on. I know what it is to be bruised. Baby, let me tell you something. I have walked in on conversations full-blown going about me. There are times I have gone in prayer, not thinking about that person. The Holy Spirit would have them come before my face. Or sometimes I'll just go just around them. The whole attitude toward me has now shifted. And those that would give ear shifted right on with them. That's a hurtful thing. It's a hurtful thing to be betrayed. Very, very hurtful. But baby, let me tell you, it's for the making of you. For the making of you. The Father still can show you how to love your enemy. He sure can. All of this where you don't understand my pain. You're right, I don't. And I ain't finna sit here and lie to you and tell you. Because I don't expect nobody to understand mine. But who I do expect to understand my pain, the Most High. Baby, let me tell you something. When you have been bruised and hurt by people continually over and over again, either you get a clue or you're going to find yourself jumping off a bridge. Getting that clue, getting in his presence. I was going through I tell you, y'all, I just had a ball yesterday going through my notes. Because there's a story about David, a backstory that the church kingdom don't know about. Because, you know, David's father and mother, his father is mentioned. I think his mom is mentioned once, I think. Don't quote me on that. But there's a backstory as to the reason why he wasn't in that room. And when you read the backstory, now everything makes sense, the reason why he wasn't in that room. And the reason why his father felt the way he felt toward him. Because the father thought that the mama stepped out on him. And he didn't think David was his. Because all his boys came out with black hair. David came out red and short. Other boys tall and stately, good looking. David was good looking. He just had red hair and he was short. Looked like he came from Esau now. He was like, oh, that ain't mine. He knew rejection. Some of you on this line was rejected the moment your parents found out they were pregnant with you. And they don't realize, even though they tell you, oh, but I kept you. Baby, the seed of rejection was planted in the baby. I don't like saying the word fetus. Because when you say the word fetus now, it's like, oh, that's not a fully human. No, let me tell you something. That soul was created when the seed and the egg came together. And the moment that the parents, the mother or the father, found out that that child was being born or that they were pregnant, rejection sets in, because this is complicating their life. And they don't even realize you putting a spirit of rejection upon your child. So David's rejected from the womb. David ostracized by his brothers. Even the people in the town looked down, that other boy. He half to the rest of them. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But look how God healed him. Look how he handled his enemies. You think David handled his enemies that way and it just came by osmosis? Well, David was a worshiper. He had to worship to keep his mind. I know what I'm talking about with that. He had to worship the Lord to keep this. He kept his mind on the Lord. Times of loneliness out there with them few sheep. Them few sheep. He had to keep his mind on the Father. And the Father delivered him. And in the process of him delivering him, the process of him taking him through worship, this is why I tell you all, surround yourself with his word. Surround yourself in worship. He's a healer. You're stumbling because you're still looking toward man for answer. Hang the phone up and get in his presence. Get off of Facebook. It's not your diary. Get off of it and get in his presence. He has your answer. You're calling on him, but you're still looking to man for your answer. Stop. Your answer's all through the word. But I want my soul healed. Oh, Dr. Caroline, you don't understand. Yeah, I do. It's about trusting the Father. David understood rejection. This is why he was able to handle Saul the way he was rejected by the best. His mom and daddy. His brothers. People in the hood. Probably cousin, first cousin. Everybody treated him funny. So he understood rejection. He spent a lot of times alone. Yeah, he did. Not because he wanted it either. Because he was pushed there. But look at what God said. Let me tell you, promotion comes from the Lord. You have a prophet, Samuel, crying over Saul, praying to the Lord. And the Lord told Samuel, he said, stop praying for him. And get up and go and anoint the one whom I have chosen. Why? Because David remained broken. Every time he was broken, he ran to the Father. See, every time you get broken, you do. Every time you get broken, you. No. He ran to the Father, and the Father ministered to him with wisdom. Here, this young man in the midst of all this rejection. Do you know your wisdom come out of that? Understanding, learning people. But if you're still seeing it through the eyes of rejection, and you don't be seated in heavenly places and see it from where the Father's seeing it, you're not going to see clearly, because you're still seeing it through those hurt emotions. You're still looking for a salve that comes from man's mouth, and the healer is right there, ready to heal. Y'all hear me? All right, I'm done. Okay. I don't want to be repetitive this morning, but I love you guys with the love of the Lord. I want you to be encouraged. I want you to know the Father knows. He understands better than you think. He knows. He knows. Cry to him. Baby, I'm telling you, when I lived in Columbus, I went through some heinous, Jesus, there. And when I lived in Michigan, I went through some stuff. Let me tell you what I used to do. I think it's 475. I might get them mixed up. Because it's funny, both cities I lived in, 75 ran through both. So anyway, long story short, I would get on 475, and honey, I would get on that out of bound and just drive it. I'd be hollering and screaming, just talking to the Father, talking to him. Do what you got to do. Get out of that house. Go for a walk. Let the Father minister to you. Come on now. It's easy to lean on person for counsel. And the Bible tells us, woe to him that is alone. But there comes a season where you need to speak to the Most High because he's waiting on you. He needs to tell you your next strategic move. See, the Ruach will come in and he's going to heal. He's going to heal. He's going to heal it. He'll heal it. You come in, I got this boo-boo, this person did this, Lord, and I fell, or God, I did this, and he's okay. He gets it, he's all right now. This is what we need to do. But see, some of us want, but no, you don't understand. See, this is what happened. He'll let you talk. Remember the man that was at the pool of Bethesda? What came out of his mouth when Jesus came to heal him? He said, and Jesus said, he said, would I be made whole? And he said, well, Lord, I would be made whole, but every time the water stirs in the pool, everybody step over me. Don't nobody try to help me, Jesus. Oh, don't nobody, I ain't got nobody. He was like, okay, you got it out. Now take up your bed and walk. He ain't finna coddle you. You're not a baby. He didn't coddle him, but the Lord did listen. Yeshua listened. He listened to him because not only did he need physical healing, that man at the pool of Bethesda need emotional healing. People miss that. That's why he let him talk. And when he got finished, he said, all right, I've heard your complaint. Now, take up your bed and walk. Come on, Mephibosheth. Come on, get on up. Sit at the table. It's already prepared. Your food start getting cold. Come on. Sitting up there, squalling and stuff. Yes, it happened. And no, we're not belittling the fact that what you went through did happen. Yeah. Baby, when I was included in a book and branded as a witch, whoo, good God from Zion. I'm going to tell that testimony. I sure is. Still got the book, too. I'm keeping that. When I read that part about me in that book, I was like, whoo, you talk about a blow, especially when you love that person. There's no hatred. I was angry. I was hurt. I talked to the Lord time and time again. The Lord took me to this ministry. Sat on the corner in Flint, Michigan. Sat between two men of God for almost 2 years from that blow. Intercession every day. And I never forget, I was just crying over this spilled milk that had happened. And the Lord began to ask me a question. He said, are you a witch? And I'm like, Lord, no, you know I'm not a witch. And he said, are you that what they said about you in that book? I'm like, no, Lord, but they wrote it, it's published. You get this book at Barnes and Noble. I'm like, for real? And he said, if you're not that, he said, why are you worried? Then I was reminded of something that my grandmother used to say, lie runs before truth. Sometimes it seems like it takes a long time for truth to come, but it comes. And when it comes, it sets things in order immediately. And I asked the Lord, I said, Lord, heal my heart. Some of us go through dark places. I've been there. And my prayer was, don't let me become like my enemy. Because see, some of us can go through storms and we'll find ourselves on the other side. And then people who were in our situations like we were, we'll find ourselves being just like our abuser. I didn't want that. I didn't want to be that. I didn't want to be that leader. So I said, Lord, don't let me be like my enemies. Keep my heart in your hand. Let me always walk in forgiveness. Amen. All right, guys. Woo! You're right, Sister Sonia. Hey, Yolanda, blessings. Love you guys with the love of the Lord. Come on, sit at the king's table. It's been prepared for you. Remember now when that door's been open. I tell people this. I think I was talking to my spiritual son and daughter the other day. I told them, let me tell you something. If the Lord tell you something, even if he tell you, don't tell me, you better do what God told you to do. You better stop making idols out of people. You know, I got people that refuse to follow me. They mad at me because they want to put me on a pedestal. Oh, woman of God, let me tell you something. I'm human just like you are, and I can make a mistake just like you can. You are not getting ready to worship me. That's a strong, if you don't ever hear me rebuke, you will get rebuked. Openly and behind closed doors. We ain't doing that. I never forget one time, this one person that I knew whose heart wasn't right toward me would always bow at my feet. And I was like, oh, I was like, get up. I'm not God. No, you're not going to do that. No, your heart, first of all, your heart ain't right and you got wrong intentions. But I won't be worshipped. Leaders, those of you that have people up under you, I charge you today. You know when people are exalting you, you know it. Stop it. And stop them. And make sure all glory goes to the Lord. Stop all this foolishness. You say, well, woman of God, man of God, you did this. And you say, oh, wait, yeah, all glory belongs to the Lord. But secretly in your heart, you're still in the glory. That one was free. Yep. Stop stealing it. Yeah. Tight, but it's right. One thing, if you don't know anything about me, you're going to find out as you continue to follow me if the Lord tell you to. I'm about holiness. And I ain't talking about appearance. Don't let this fool you. Don't let these fool you. It's about holiness. Holiness from the heart. Because if it comes from the inside out, he going to take care of everything else. He got you. When you trying to walk up in righteousness in him, and you're giving all glory to him, baby, it's about holiness. This is not a fanfare. This is not a club. This is your life. Some of you all don't even know your worth. That's why everybody can speak, prophesy, and say all kind of stupid stuff to you because you don't know who you are. You are valuable to the Most High. And he waiting. Your seat is ready. Table already spread. Come on up out. He done called you. He's made a way of escape. Be careful when you get to the table. Don't let your discernment shut off when he takes you into that wealthy place. Be mindful of Zabah and Absalom and the rest of them is at that table. Yeah. Some of us mess up because when the door opens, we think our warfare is over, baby. It just amped up another level. You just ain't got a clue because you choose to take off discernment. You better keep your discernment in that wealthy place. Don't be foolish. Time's short. Jesus on his way back. Glory to God. Now I'm sounding like the old saints. Okay, I'm finna go. I need some coffee. I love y'all with the love of the Lord. I think my husband will be on tonight at 6:30, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, 6:30 Central, 5:30 Mountain, and 4:30 Pacific Standard Time. I will see you all in the morning at 6 a.m. I might continue this. I don't know what the Lord is going to do, but just meet me here. Amen. Love you guys with the love of the Lord. Oh, check out the post for the oil. The ingredients are on the way. Woo! And we will be making it very, very soon. Amen. Love you guys with the love of the Lord. Those of you who are on that fast, stay on it. Stay on it. Don't you come down. If you stumble, get up. Keep moving. Come on. Come on. Deliver yourself from you today. From that stinking thinking. Change it. Yeah, it's painful. Change it. Because you're used to chaos. Come on out of it. Come on out of it and live. Sit at the table today and stay there. All right. Love y'all. See y'all tomorrow. Shalom.